Jones with Connect and Elevate. I'm the founder and intrapreneur, and I help women introvert entrepreneurs nourish their introvert gifts, become more aware of their energy because awareness of our energy is so important, cultivate joyful relationships while still building community. Today, we are talking about making the cash register ring. And that was like, that was eye-catching, huh? So we're going to talk to you about 3 sections of the secrets of networking. And I'm not going to go into the definition of networking versus connecting.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Grow Your Business Smarter, Live Your Optimal Life TV show. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited to be here because today we're going to talk about something that's really near and dear to my heart. And we're going to talk to somebody who is also really near and dear to my heart. We're talking today to Jen Jones. She is the international best-selling author of the outstanding book called Intropreneur. I gave it 5 stars on Amazon, and you should too. She's going to talk to us today about how to, if you're an introvert, actually get your business to that 7-figure mark. And guys, let's face it, if you follow the traditional marketing, the things that the traditional marketers tell you to do, it's like, get out there, network, do this, be on 700,000 social media places, do all the things. And by the time you look at it, even if you're an extrovert, you're frazzled, you're pulling your hair out. So you have to take a breath and you have to ask yourselves, is it worth expending that much energy? Is it worth depleting yourself? Is it worth actually burning yourself out? And this show is all about living your optimal life while you grow your business smarter. Is it worth it to get to that 7 figures? And Jen is telling us that there is a different way. There's another way for us to do this. So today she's going to talk to us about exactly how, and she's going to give us some tips that we can take away, that we can actually start to implement in our businesses today. We're a practical show here. We love tips. We love things that we can implement. We're all about implementation, and we're all about integration. So let's dive right in. I also want to say hello to everybody who's joining us live. And if you're catching us on streaming, if you're catching us on the replay, also want to say hello to you. Jen, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And the first thing I'd like to ask you is could you introduce, in your own words, yourself to us? Tell us who you are and explain to us the wonderful things that you, Jen Jones, are doing in the world.
All right. So I'm Jen Jones, and I'm a speaker, author, realtor, entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for a long, long time. I actually was thinking in the shower that I was an Avon lady in my early 20s, guys. I was an Avon lady. Like, it just blows my mind how everything circles back around in our lives. So I have an amazing real estate business, but I also founded Connect and Elevate in 2019 because I kept hearing people come up to me and say, oh my gosh, you network everywhere. I hate to network. I don't know how to network. Networking is exhausting. It did take me a little bit of time to kind of formulate who were these people that I was talking to. And it was introverts. And I looked at myself in the mirror and said, Jen, you're an introvert. You like to go inward to get your energy. When you need to step back, you're an introvert. So that's how I define introvert. Extrovert is just where you get your energy from. There's so many more things that you can define yourself with, but that's how I use introvert and extrovert. And so I help introverted women, entrepreneurs, build their business on being authentic, managing their energy, and growing a business of relationships, collaborations, and just good old fun.
Here's the thing, Jen. You're an expert at being a real estate agent. You have a great business. Your business is doing well. Why on earth would you even care about doing this work with us as introverts? Why would you care? Why is this important to you to even go so far as to write a book and be out there doing speaking things and coaching us about this? Why is this important to you?
Because I feel as though if I had some of this stuff 20 years ago, it wouldn't have taken me so long. So really a time collapse for those people who, don't even know that they're an introvert or an extrovert. They just don't know. And they try to do all the things because other people are doing it. And if it doesn't feel right, they just keep pushing. If it doesn't feel right, they just keep pushing. And I feel as though as an introvert, or any entrepreneur actually, the hustle and grind is sort of old paradigm. And, being here trying to spread the word, it's a movement to bring people together who are introverts or who are extroverts who want to come join the party, who want to help other people say, hey, when you're doing things that you're aligned with and it feels really good, your business grows.
When you're doing things that you're aligned with, your business really grows. So Jen, say a little bit more about that. What does that really, really mean?
So when we're aligned, is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Say a little bit more about that. Go a little bit deeper into that bit of conversation, because we keep hearing, oh, get aligned and get in the vortex and all of this sort of new age conversation that maybe might mean something to some people, it might not mean as much to others. Can you explain a little bit more for those of us who might not be as plugged in?
Yeah, so I'll sort of step back a little bit and say I'm probably your poster child of someone who doesn't pay attention to their intuition, who says, oh no, that doesn't, just because it doesn't feel right doesn't mean that you just don't do it. So those are things that I used to say to myself when I was like, I don't know, at least like 5 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago. Like it's just been more recently that I have been listening to my body and listening to the feelings, because honestly, guys, like emotions are not my thing. And I say that very graciously. I've been working on really diving deep into how I feel in my body. And a lot of people, including myself in a lot of situations, don't know how to do that. Like, how do you do that? And what does that mean to be aligned? And so for me, and I can only speak for myself, is that when I am grounded, so when I feel peace and calm, I know that I'm on the right track. So if I'm doing something or I'm putting out a project or I'm putting out a program, I know that I am aligned because I'm excited. I might be a little scared, but I'm feeling into my body and I feel grounded, and it feels like it's like a whole body yes. And I know some people have said that before, but it's like your whole body says yes to this next thing that you're working on. Or if someone asks you something, I've been a yes person for an awful long time, and I have been saying no recently, which is very freeing. Yet there's a little bit of guilt that goes on because you have said no. But if it doesn't feel right and you don't have the energy to do it, that's my biggest thing right now, is really watching my energy. If I don't have the energy for it, then I need to say no right now. No, right now. It might be a yes later, but because I'm feeling into my intuition, which is really how I feel about certain things. And so that is how you get aligned, is when you're able to feel into every decision that you make, even if it's what's for breakfast.
You mentioned a little bit about making decisions, and I know, because we know each other really well, that you have been studying and you've actually been teaching your clients a bit more about being really conscious about the way that they make their decisions. Can you share with us a little bit about one of the decision-making tools that you share with your clients?
Okay. I can do that. So I actually decided to get certified because, we all need to be certified in something. So I decided to get certified in sacred success coaching with Eden Carpenter, who does coaching with human design. And so I have been missing a piece to this book, Intropreneur, and this is exactly it. It's getting deeper into who you are, experimenting with who you are, how you make decisions, and how you're living your life and running your business. And everything that I talk about is, aligned decisions. So in human design, I don't know how deep you want me to get into this, but we have 5 different types of human design. They're, manifestors, generators, manifesting generators, projectors, and reflectors. So there's 5 types. We won't go into too much detail, but they each have their own signature. They each have their own authority. And those are things that we listen to our bodies and how we make decisions. And if it doesn't feel right, or we've gone through our decision-making process and it's a no, we have to answer the call, right? You talk about answering the call of our own bodies and not let our minds get in there, because our bodies are saying one thing, but our little brains up here, they're going to talk about all kinds of other stuff, because we like to self-sabotage ourselves. We like to talk negatively about ourselves. And when we can be more aware of those things going on up here, which trust me, I'm not resistant to any of that. That stuff comes in all the time. But I know that if my body says yes, because for me, it's, being at peace, then I know that I'm on the right track. So I do use human design with my clients, especially during VIP days. We really dive deep into what does all of this look like and how do you make decisions? Because it's not just about the type, it's about some of the other details of human design, which there's a black hole. It's called the human design black hole. If you dive into it, you're going to be there for a while. But that's how I work with my clients and with myself, is that I am more in tune with my human design and I experiment with it. I think it's about 95% correct. And in some other people, it doesn't feel quite right because they're conditioned to doing certain things because it feels good in the moment and then they regret it. So there's a lot of things that our beautiful human bodies and brains that have taken on over the course of the years that we have lived on this beautiful earth. And some of it is no longer serving us. And we need to be able to recognize that and move on from it and heal from it.
So Jen, I love that you are leaning into the idea that there are things that we have learned in the course of our journey that we might have thought have been serving us, or they may have been serving us for a while, but they may not be serving us any longer. And as we are on our entrepreneurial journey, as we are leaning into our businesses, we may need to find a new way. So as we are perhaps introverts or perhaps extroverts or ambiverts that are looking for a new way, where would you suggest that we get started? What's a good starting point for us?
I always start with energy. So my biggest thing is that if we don't have our energy right, then we are going to be burning out faster. Now, post-COVID, I feel as though burnout is, I hear a lot of people talking about it. So if we're not in this alignment, then we're going to burn ourselves out quicker. And that's something that I think I talked about on another episode, because I talk about energy all the time, is that when we are not fully aware of our energy and we're not fully aware of when our battery goes red or when we're approaching red, then we're in a position where we forget about ourselves. We talk about self-care I say all the time. I see a lot of posts about self-care all the time. And I'm not saying that, going to have a massage doesn't give you energy. But what I want you to do is I want you to sit quietly. And some people are like, I don't know how to meditate. Okay, I'm not asking you to meditate. I'm just asking you to sit quietly in the morning hours or later in the evening. But the morning is just so, I'm not a morning person, but it's such a time where you can really tap into yourself and ask yourself questions such as, where can I get my energy today? Where am I best going to use that 10 minutes that I have? to get the energy that I need for the day. Because sometimes, like myself, like a couple months ago, I was waking up and going, how am I going to get through the day? I wasn't asking myself, what things can I do to get myself through the day? I was like, how? Like very negative, like, how am I going to get through the day? And so I would just ask people, if you're struggling right now with your energy, go inward and say, what can I do right now in this 10 minutes that I have that I can bring myself back to center and bring myself into a place of energy, thriving versus energy depletion? In the day, are there people that I can avoid, depending on if you're an entrepreneur, if you're still in corporate, what can I do throughout the day that can preserve my energy? Because I think a lot of people know how to go out and hike because that's what brings them energy, or take a bath, which that's what I do, to bring our energy back to center. But there are some people who are like, I can't even get through my day and I'm like exhausted, or I can't move forward. So I'm an all or nothing kind of gal. So sometimes I'm like, I need like 3 hours to get myself back to where I need to be. Start small, ask yourself, how can you ground yourself? How can you be in the moment for 10 minutes to get that energy? And it might just be breathing. Breathing might be something that gets you grounded. Breathing can also bring you back to center. And it just has such a powerful way of realigning your whole body and your mind to yourself. And so I would encourage you, if you were out there, to take 10 minutes and think about what you can do to bring in that energy that you need for the day, the week, the month, whatever it is that you're struggling with.
So this focus on energy, it's interesting that this is where you start. Are there any stories that you can share with us of, say, a client or something that this has been really beneficial for?
Yes. So I actually had a VIP day, probably a couple of months ago now, where she was like, I'm exhausted. And I preach about the white space in our calendar. And she's like, I have put white space in my calendar and it doesn't seem to be enough. And I said, well, what are you working on? And so we were going through what she was working on, and she was working Saturdays. And although she put in buffers on Saturday, it still took away from the time that she usually has for herself. And she wasn't replacing that time during the week. So what we were able to do is rearrange some things. And on Monday was a later start day, so that she was able to really have that, because she was working on Saturdays, she had that time to rejuvenate herself. And her son was in school. So she really truly had like some time for herself, where on the weekends, her husband and son are home. Mondays were the day that she was able to rejuvenate. So it was just a great place to go, wow. So it's not just about the white space in your calendar, it's how you're using it. And are you adding things to your calendar and not compensating for that? So it's taken away your energy, but you're not filling back up your cup because of it. You're just kind of continuing on your week. And so just thinking about, the white space that you have. And if you do remove some time for yourself, make sure you put it back. Even it is, like I said, even 10 minutes, this is my new, like, even if it's 10 minutes, to just think about, being grounded and, maybe taking that 10-minute walk outside, or just standing in the grass for a little bit. I don't hike. I don't like to walk. I don't really like any of that stuff, but people love it. And so,
It sounds like sweating.
I think it's more, I'm just like I like the sun. I don't want to be like in damp hiking weather, but I do know a lot of people that really grounds them, and it's so powerful for them. And it's probably the number one thing that I hear. So that's why I keep saying it, but I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go sit in my lawn chair in the sun to rejuvenate my body.
And sure, for everybody, we're going to have to figure out what the thing for you is going to be. What is it that fills you up? What are the things that deplete you? And what are the things that fill you up? So, okay, so we start with managing our energy, figuring out what are our things that fill us up? What are the things that deplete us? And how do we make that walk from where we start to actually filling our business, filling our abundance? How do we make that transition?
So I think, filling your practice and, the abundance really comes from kind of circling back to the beginning of our conversation, what are you doing right now in your business that isn't working? Why is it not working? It's usually because, your body's telling you, hell no, but you're still doing it. Or someone said that I should do it, or I've seen other, this is something that I have fallen a trap. Other people are doing it. It's working for them. So I'm going to try to do it. But I'm like, half in, half out. And so if you're half in, half out, and it's not in that alignment, then, you're not going to see the results like the other person. And so I would just challenge you to take a look at, what are you doing in your business right now that you feel dread. Now, I'm not talking about the admin stuff, because I feel dread with the admin stuff. We're not going to go there. But the things that would make you money in your business, do you have a program? Do you have a product? What do you have that you're offering to the world that doesn't feel, and it might have felt good at the time that you put it out, but it isn't feeling good anymore. And with that energy that you're putting out there, people aren't attracted to it anymore. So how can you take a look at that program? Maybe it's a revamp, or maybe it was a one-on-one program that you have, and now you're going to make it a group program. Or, what I call feel out all the things, like what isn't working in your business right now? Why is it not working? What do you feel like? What is the feeling that you get when you go to sit down and you're going to talk to someone about this particular program or product? What is the feeling that you get? If it doesn't feel good, you need to try, I say, try all the things to figure out what works for you. Because if you're not aligned with what you're offering, no one's going to sign up. No one's going to put their hand up. I've had it happen to me last year early on. And, I was really excited about it and had no one sign up. This year I put out a book study and everyone's like, me, me, me. And I'm like, what's the difference? Oh, I want to be doing this. So I think just really evaluating what you have to offer. And if it's not aligned anymore, what's next for you? And we talk about collaborations, and, get together with other women business owners, or whoever your people are, and brainstorm. What can we do differently that feels really good right now?
We have a game that we play on the show where when somebody says collaboration, everybody takes a drink, because that's, pretty much the theme of our show. We really, really, really do believe that working together just makes it so much easier. So it's really exciting, Jen, that unbidden, you really embrace the idea of collaboration. Any other ideas for marketing from the perspective of the introvert entrepreneur?
Yeah. So I feel as though, and it's not right for everybody, it's not right for all introverts, but podcasting has been one of the most amazing things that I have done personally in the last 6 months. And if you, and I actually had a couple people approach me asking, like, hey, I want to do that too. How do I do it? Like, people don't know how to get into being interviewed on podcasts. And so there are Facebook pages that just talk about podcasting. I think it's podcast collaboration. So I think that's what it's called. But podcast is like, so podcasting has been a really great thing, because people who are introverts are like, well, I'm not going to go live in my Facebook group, or I'm not going to go live doing that. And it's like, okay, so you don't want to be on video, you don't want to be alone. Having someone interview you is actually a great way to get yourself out there. So if you're trying to get your message across, you are giving value because you're being interviewed and talking about your expertise. And then you're usually able to provide links in the show notes. And if you have a free offer, which I always have a free offer, because I think that, we are all out here, in the wild, shall I say, and it's nice to be able to get a gift from people and really have it, the checklists are great and everything, but, having something of value that you can actually use has been something that, the word I'm looking for, has been really I appreciate when I get something for free that someone put effort into and that I'm going to get value from and actually get results from. That's that's probably one of the biggest things that I have learned over the course of the last 6 months doing podcasts is that people see me on podcasts. They're like, you did a book, you're an introvert, I'm an introvert. How do I do that too? So getting out there on podcasts is something that has been a great opportunity for a lot of people. I know Mary, who's here, she has a beautiful podcast. And it's one of those things that you, you don't feel like you're, being showcased because you're having a conversation with someone.
Absolutely. The time, where does it go? Can you give us one last tip, Jen? Just one last thing that we can take away from today and implement in our business. We can just plug it in and get started getting to that $1 million business today.
All right, you're all going to fall off your chair on this one. I want you to, this is my tip and action step. I want you to go through and look at the people who are on your list, not just your email list. I feel like those are, those might be people that you have relationships with, but they might not be. But you need to take a look at, and if you don't have one, then you need to build this out, is build out your master connectors, build out the people who, who have been your clients, who have referred you clients, who would shout at the top of the mountaintop for your business if you had something that was going on, or they just keep you in mind. So my tip and my action step is figure out who on your list are your master connectors, your like biggest cheerleaders. And I want you to go and ask them for referrals. Let them know what you're offering right now, whether it's a product or service, and ask for referrals. Build those relationships like you've never built them before. I feel like we have been online for so long and we have made very surface relationships, and not on purpose. It's just we've moved on. We've met during a Zoom call and now, oh my God, we had a great Zoom call and I haven't talked to you since. I have a whole list of people. So that's my second one, I guess, is, people that you have connected with that you can circle back and have a conversation with, because you never know, there might be a collaboration brewing.
There may be a collaboration brewing. Cheers. So I pulled a card for us, Jen, as I do on every show. And I've been enjoying pulling from the Sacred Rebels guidebook. These are just oracle cards. They're just thoughts for the day that you can pull a card and it gives you a really nice thought that you can take with you through the day. And this one says, the feminine wisdom of gentleness can assist you now. When we are at a point in life where we want to attain greater things, but don't necessarily have a proportionately greater supply of energy at our disposal, it is time to work smarter rather than harder. This is the way of feminine wisdom. Guys, I pulled this card like first thing this morning and I asked, what's going to be the greatest message that everybody needs to have? And this is it. We need to link arms. We need to collaborate. We need to support each other. This is, I think, the way that we as the introverts get to that $1 million business. We support each other. We reach out to the people who are our best besties and say, hey, can you give me a referral? Our best besties. Those are our peeps. We reach out to our best besties and say, hey, can I be on your podcast? Will you interview me? Or who do you know who has a podcast that will be willing to let me be on it? We reach out to our best besties. That's how we get to where we want to be. It's not about pulling our hair out. It's not about doing all the things. It's not about having presence on every single social media that is out there. Because guys, Jen says it, and if Jen says it, it's got to be true. You will be depleting your energy. And when you're depleting your energy, unfortunately, that's not what's going to get you to that 7 figures that you're looking for. Guys, it's been such an amazing show with you today. And I'm so excited to see you guys on the next show. It's been really, really, really great to hang out with everybody who's been here with us in our studio audience. It's been such a pleasure hanging out with Jen, and I'll see you guys on the next show. Bye, everyone.